This is A to Z with Mark Zinno, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, and it starts now.
Good afternoon. Welcome to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, where today I tell you the proof is in the numbers. Welcome in. We are live here on this Monday right here in Atlanta. Great to be back with you. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Make sure you guys are giving us a follow at Locked On ATL. Of course, I'm at Mark Zinno, MarkZinno. Great show for you here on this Monday. My good buddy Matt Chernow from 680 The Fan is going to join me as we talk about a lot of things going on in Atlanta sports today, including the Braves and the Falcons. We'll get to him coming up here in just a moment, but I wanted to start today with the Atlanta Hawks and more bigger, the NBA conference finals that we're in. And I'm going to bring it back to the Hawks, and I'm going to tell you guys something you already know, but it bears worth repeating because the numbers just jump off the page at you. They stare you in the face to where you can't ignore it. If you've been watching any of the NBA playoffs, and look, Atlanta is a great NBA town. It's a great basketball town. The Hawks fans are pretty passionate in this city, but this has always been a great NBA town. There's a lot of different fans from the NBA in Atlanta who love all different teams. And so NBA does very well here from a TV rating standpoint, no matter who's playing, because, well, fans here love the NBA. That said, I have closely been following these series due to all my work in the sports gambling industry and dissecting them 8 ways to Sunday and so on and so forth. You got 4 teams in the NBA finals, in the Final Four, in the conference finals. And if you want to know who they are, in the East, it's the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. And in the West, it's the Golden State Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks. If you bothered to look at any numbers during the regular season, if you looked at the top 4 teams in the regular season of opponent points per game allowed, number 1, Boston Celtics, conference finals, check. Number 2, Dallas Mavericks, conference finals, check. Number 3, Golden State Warriors, conference finals, check. Number 4, the Miami Heat, conference finals, check. When I said I was going to tell you something you already know, I'm going to tell you something you already know. Hawks, if you don't get better on defense, if you don't try to get better on defense, if you don't even make an attempt to get out of the mid-20s in defense, you're never going to be at this point. And the more I see something like this, the more I look at last year and go, it was a fluke. That's what I think. The more I see this, I think it was a fluke. And why I think it was a fluke? Let me just pull up the 2021-2022 postseason stats of opponent points per game allowed. You ready? Okay. Number 1 in the playoffs, Miami Heat, 97.5 points allowed. Number 2 remaining team, Boston Celtics, 101.8 points remaining game allowed. Number 3 remaining team, the Dallas Mavericks, 101.9 points per game allowed. Now, Golden State falls off a little bit as the number 11 team overall in the postseason. But again, they did play 2 high-scoring teams in Denver and in Memphis. Aside from that, the point is clear that if you'd like to get this thing called an NBA title, if you'd like to hold a Larry O'Brien trophy and say it's ours, you got to play defense. You got to do it in the regular season, and you got to do it in the postseason. It's that simple. So it goes back to the discussion we had last week with Chris Kirshner of The Athletic. I don't know how this team gets better defensively without one of 2 things happening. And probably both of those things need to happen. Number 1, the star on this team and the best player on this team needs to put energy, effort, and focus on defense to make everybody follow. That's you, Trae Young. If you don't want to do it, fine. Go be a secondary player somewhere else. But number 2, without a massive change to the roster, how do you get better defensively? I don't know the answer. And I would tell you 2A or even 3, I don't know if Nate McMillan is the guy to force defense on this team. I mean, as Chris Kirshner told us of The Athletic, it's pretty telling that in 18 years of coaching, Nate McMillan's made it past the first round twice in his career. One of them was last year as an interim coach. There's probably a reason for that. Again, I know it sounds like I'm saying he should go. It feels like I'm saying he should go. I'm not saying he should go. I'm saying he should change his focus. I'm saying this whole organization needs to change its focus. I'm saying you need to get him players that focus on defense and have him focus on defense, because that's what gets you to the conference finals, and that's what gets you an opportunity to go play for an NBA title. Proof is in the pudding. Go look at the Boston Celtics. All they did on the road to the conference finals was take out the number one best player in the world in Kevin Durant and the number two best player in the world in Giannis Antetokounmpo. Would you like me to flip those around? Fine. The number two best player in the world, Kevin Durant, and the number one best player, Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's all the Boston Celtics defense did, was take out the two best players in the NBA, bar none. If Golden State would like to get to the NBA Finals, all they got to do is take out the best player in the postseason in Luka Doncic. And should I even bring his name up right now to Atlanta fans? I'm not sure we want to talk about Luka right now. Well, Luka's made a conference finals, so is Trey. And we're back to, and this came up last night. Boy, did it ever come up last night on social media. That whole, who got the better end of the trade deal? I'll say what I've said since day one, and I think it holds true. Luka is the better player. I don't think that's debatable. He's the better all-around player, right? He's a better rebounder. He's certainly a better pure scorer than Trey. Trey might be the better shooter. He's certainly a better defender. That we know. So Luka's the better all-around player. Trey's the better fit for Atlanta. I don't really think there's a debate there. And sometimes fit is more important than talent. Yes. Sometimes fit enhances talent. It's not fair to compare them. They're in different situations. It's only fair to compare them off the basis that they were traded for one another in the same draft. You know, I mean, Chris Webber, Anthony Hardaway, those kind of deals. When it's all said and done, these guys are going to be judged off whether they win championships or not. So that's really where it goes. But, Luka's beyond impressive. He's going to start to be the perennial MVP every year conversation. And oh, by the way, all the Heat had to do to get here was take out one of the best young players in the league in Trae Young. And then, go take out the guy who probably should have won MVP in Joel Embiid. So you're not going to be able to go up against teams like that. And oh, by the way, the East is so much tougher of a conference now. You're not going to be able to go up against teams with players like that and play mediocre defense and expect to win in the playoffs. It does not happen. And if it does happen, it doesn't happen for more than a series, right? So last year you could get past Joel Embiid to the conference finals, but you ain't getting past Giannis. Not without some high-level defense like the Celtics exuded in 7 games in a meat grinder of a series. The proof is in the numbers, Hawks. I don't know what to tell you. But if you're watching any of the NBA playoffs, Tony Ressler, and you're seeing what's going on, and you're not going, I want that, you know what else you don't get to say I want? That trophy, because you won't get it. All right, coming up next, my good buddy Matt Chernoff will join us from 680 The Fan. Hear him every day on Chuck and Chernoff. We've got a lot to go over, including the Hawks, but also the Braves and the Falcons. It's going to be interesting because I want to talk about the Falcons. I kind of see what Arthur Smith is doing here, and it's getting a little bit curious. I don't want to say it's interesting. It's getting a little bit curious. We will discuss that and more coming up right here on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. We'll be right back.